But yeah, it's Wednesday, and the slight bit of old business. Scott, I never did get the pictures of the ray gun. I don't know what happened with the email, but I never did get the pictures of the ray gun, the death ray, that your brother made. Now, let me see if I can get this on the other screen. Where's Belinda? That may be a question that you might be asking. Where is Belinda? Well, through the family tracking app Life 360, which we have on our phones, she's on her way back from the grocery store. Now, she has a clock and she's subject to time, the same as the rest of us. If you believe in time, I mean, if you believe in time. And so she's got to be on her way. It looked like she was on her way. Scott, you sent Keys the ray gun pictures. Damn, how did I not get those? What happened to me? You have to email them to me, though, 'cause I don't know how to get them in the messenger thing. I mean, I do, but I don't do that. Okay. Jen, you're sick, but you don't think it's varinus. Well, that's good news. Dysentery. God, how'd you get dysentery? I'm the one who's eating the canned chicken. You shouldn't have dysentery. Rich to Chooch, funny, when my mom was 7 months pregnant with me, she went on a camel ride at the fair. The next day, she went into labor and Rich was born. How about that? Well, camels are kind of jostly. I think we've told the story on here before that Belinda wanted to go to the beach a week before Fanula was going to be born, and she was doing backflips into the surf, and the next day we went to the doctor and they said, look, we forget about our scheduled cesarean for next week. We need to do it this week because you've jiggled some things around in there. Anyway, I just got a text from Belinda that says that she should be here very soon. Very soon. She says she's close. You're exaggerating about the dysentery. Well, so I've been, as we all are, struggling with how to keep our shid together during the varinus, and I saw this. There's this. We get this magazine from UCLA, but I've torn this page out because it's talking about some. It's an app that it asks you surveys questions every day, like how you feeling and what happened today and how much sleep are you getting, and then it predicts whether or not you're depressed, whether or not someone should call you. So instead of actually having a therapist or someone who gives a shit, you've got to interact with an app, with a digital thing, and then it tells the therapist, okay, something's wrong. You need to talk to them. So that got me looking on the internet. There's all these AI, artificial intelligence apps for diagnosing your depression or helping you deal with. There's a thing called Youper, and I downloaded it and was looking at it, and it's like a daily questionnaire therapist thing, but you answer the questions and then you can type in more answers to the questions, and it kind of draws you out about what's bugging you, I guess. But then some jackass Silicon Valley douche has got all this personal information about you, what your triggers are, what your vulnerabilities are. And I was like, I don't think I want to the Silicon Valley douche. Of course, they don't tell you it's a douche. They tell you it's only, expert, licensed good guys that have access to that data. But I got a feeling there's some douches involved. I mean, if you've had any experience with any business, if you've been a customer of any business, if you can be sure if there's one person, you can kind of verify that person's not a douche. But once you get up to a few of them, you're always going to wind up. Oh, Uma, you're a Youper. Well, you got to tell me, how is it? How is it? Have you had any problems with people spying on your bummers? But that's really great. That's nice to hear, because I have to admit my paranoia has probably kept me away from several things that might be good for me. I don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of dysentery talk in the chat now today. Oh, Flavia, your sleep has been abysmal. Yeah, my sleep has been off and on, good or not. If I'm getting some exercise, I think that's helpful. If I'm kind of exhausted, I can sleep better. I tried a little bit of eating the medical marijuana, but I can't say that I'm a giant fan of that. Jen, you think you got bat flu? Oh my God, that's terrible. Wow, there's. Oh, wow. See the AI song generator. It did an AC/DC song called "Great Balls, Much Better Therapy." Yeah, well, I'd like to hear that. That sounds good. Oh, Belinda. Belinda's back from the grocery store.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't believe you were going to show up. I'm just making that up. I think they probably all did.
J'arrive.
Come on in.
J'arrive.
Come on in. Tell me
Yeah.
about where you've been.
Well,
Oh, you've been to the eye duct. You had your ducts checked.
my glands. Do you want to see my glands,
Yeah.
everybody? Do you want to see my me bobin glands? Oh, they're feeling great. They've had a massaging weird machine, hot machine with sort of balls in it that kind of compress all around your eye socket. They had that on. I had the biofilm scraped off upper and lower lid. I had gel smeared over, and I had an IPL, because that on some dermatological setting apparently gets your eye glands going. And he said there's been an improvement in my glands and the oil I'm producing.
Well, he would say that
Out of
wouldn't
my
he?
eyelids.
He's been
No,
charging
when I
you for
first got
this
there.
high-end therapy.
Yeah, no, I have given him, yes, some money to make my eyes not dry and terrible. I don't want to be an old person who apparently their eyes are so dry that they're miserable all day and they just can't wait till they're going back to bed because they just want to have their eyes closed and be asleep.
Well, I hope you're not going to be a miserable old person either.
Oh, God, I'm going to really work hard to not be. I mean, it would be horrible for you. It would be horrible for me. It'd be horrible for you guys.
Well, Jen, speaking of horrible, Jen thinks she might have Ebola. Did I get that wrong?
Ebola or virus?
Oh, no, it's not Ebola. It's not Ebola. She thinks she ate a bad Whataburger and she's got some dysentery.
Oh, yucky.
Yeah.
That's not fun, Jen.
Yeah.
Hey, I would like to say thank you to the people who just got right on it and subscribed yesterday. That was really sweet of you, and I do know your names, but I don't want to call them out in case that means I'm not.
So you got some subscribers on your YouTube.
I got some subscribers on my YouTube, so thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. That's very...
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I know, just like that. I know.
Finally something that benefits you.
Well, yeah, we all know that I'm only in this for me. I mean, isn't that the sense you get of this about me? I
think that's one thing we all have in common.
We're only in
We're all in this for ourselves.
For each other, yeah, for
No,
ourselves.
actually, I don't think that's. I think
I'm
that's
a bit hot now.
I don't think that's true. I think
Right.
there's a lot of people participating in here. But I was talking about this therapy app, and it turns out that one of our, well, I don't even know if I suppose I can call out. Uma says she's doing it, and so it sounded interesting to me, but I was paranoid about it.
Because just gonna do my hair. Oh,
Jen says she'd
yeah,
rather
look
be
at
up all
that.
night with dysentery than have her eyes scraped.
Well, they just scrape the eyelids, and the thing about it, Jen, I have to tell you, I've had some, some bad food experiences, and this is not that bad. It's sort of tickly, and slightly irritating. It's sort of, yeah, more tickly. Then he does this other thing where he squeezes your lids after you've had the treatment to see what kind of oil, because I think I told you last time, guys, you sort of want it to be. You don't want it to be thick like olive oil. You definitely don't want it to be toothpastey. Then you've got some bad, old juice coming out of those eyelids. You want it to be, the right viscosity. But who knows if I've got,
Yeah, check the viscosity of your eye juice. If you get a minute before you go to bed, check the viscosity of your eye juice.
You don't even know how to do it. I didn't even know that there was such a thing.
Well, I think the standard at-home viscosity test is a little bit of this. That feels about right.
Yeah, but if you went right into your eye, you'd have the tears that are the first layer, and then you have this oil on top to stop them just completely drying out at all times.
Oh.
Anyway, blah, 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 blah. That was a good story.
It's Humpday.
Humpday. Yeah, Cameleers. Hello, Cameleers.
Yes.
Oh, yes. How's it going? Humpity, hump, hump, hump. I also went to the supermarché.
Yeah.
And that was fairly good. Though there are some people who behave a little bit badly. There was this one family, and they did this
Yes,
thing
well,
where they
let's set
divided...
this up. Let's set this up. And now for some more tales of bad behavior at the supermarket during variety.
Yes, thank you for the setup. Oh, it's going to be so much better now.
Yes.
Well, I knew we were in trouble when the three of them came in. I knew it. And one of them had a mask.
I don't know if you've ever written a short story, but that's a great beginning. I knew we were in trouble when the three of them first came in.
Yeah, I knew it. My sixth sense.
Tell us about the group.
I got a prickly... Well, first of all, there's the matriarch, the old lady, and she's got her mask on under her nose. And I'm kind of like, man, come on. The rest of us have got our masks on. My optometrist was telling me he'd just been talking to two, infectious disease guys, and they're like, get ready, get like a mask because you're going to be wearing one for the next year. Anyway, so they've
Except
got
at
their
home.
mask down, and then they're just a little bit, well, they're naughty. They don't want to follow protocols. And then they want to divide up their groceries into 3 different carts so they can all go to the under 12 items lane. And I'm just like, oh, come on. You're going to take up the 3 cashiers who are at the under 12 lane when you should be in lane 5 or 7 where the rest of us are.
Allow me to share with the audience one of our favorite expressions, douche.
Yeah, it was a total douche move.
It's like touche, only you say
yeah,
douche.
Yeah, I think these guys are clever enough that they'd get it right
Not
away.
all of them.
Okay. All right, yeah,
Not
yeah.
all of them.
So touche when you've got and douche when it's a really douchey move. Touche is when you're clever and you say something that responds to the other person in a sort of a meaningful way. And douche, they were douche. It was a douche move.
Jen says undernose mask wearing is a fashion forward statement, and I sort of feel like I sometimes do the pocket mask where I don't have the mask on because we're just walking on the sidewalk, but then as I see people approaching, I get the mask out and I put it on as if to say to them, like, I don't want to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are doing the under the nose thing. I get it. I mean, the lady who cut the hole out in her nose. What about the one, my friend the other day, we were at a Black Lives Matter march, and afterwards he'd put his mask so it was just over his nose because he's a really good mouth breather. So he thought, I'll just put the mask over my nose. It was quite funny. I did say to him, Matt, I haven't seen anyone do that yet. And it was quite weird looking. The profile of it was quite weird. But
So
anyway.
Michael's. It's time for Joke Clinic with Jake.
Okay.
Michael has submitted this. It was the sausage of times. It was the worst of times.
Worst.
Sorry, I'll see myself out. So sausage and worst, like liverwurst, the sausage of times. And I would say, if we're workshopping that joke, what you want is something that rhymes with best, or something that's similar to, you want the best and the worst of times. And sausage is not close enough to the best. So you might say brat for the first, like brat is short for bratwurst. It was the brat of times. It was the worst of times. And then you've combined them together. But if we had more time, we could probably get that joke up to a solid 4 out of 10.
It was the breast of times. It was the worst of,
Oh.
See, it was the breast of times, because then you've got
guess so.
breast and you've got best and you've got the two of them.
Yes. No, I like breast for best, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure that breast and worst go together if we're taking a college entrance exam.
Breast and west. What about breast and west of times? Breast and worst of times. It's all in the pronunciation, how you do it.
So Jen says that
I
she's
know,
pretty
I
sure she got a
saw
shit
that.
ton. She said she subscribed. She thinks 20 subscribed for sure, but she sent an email out to 400 people.
Oh, Jen! God, wow.
It shows.
Thanks, pal.
It shows that
I appreciate
she
that.
really cares. And
She does.
And let's not forget, it's hump day, and I'd like to get on with it.
What, humping?
I've been sitting on these hump facts for a week since last week. So,
Oh, how does that feel on the bottom?
and this is for all of our Texas fans. So there are, for a while there were feral camels loose in Texas, and for all we know, there still may be in some remote areas. But
Yeah, humping.
in 1855, at Camp Verde in Texas, they brought in these camels because some genius, I didn't write his name down, but some genius with the United States military had this idea that the camels would be better to replace horses for the desert, dry Texas climate, bringing these camels. Well, it turns out they are great. They can go for a long time without water. They can carry a lot more than a horse. And you can't overload a camel. Here's a fun fact. You can't overload a camel because they kneel down when you load them up. And if it's too heavy for them, they won't stand up. They're just like, fuck, no.
Oh, I love that. Good on you, camels.
Yeah.
When, humans have overburdened them. They just go no.
They just
They go
like,
and strike on their
not getting up.
knees.
Not-
They take the knee.
Not getting
They
up.
take the knee for
Not getting up.
themselves.
Yeah, so they brought in the camels to replace the horses, but then nobody liked the camels because they can be quite cantankerous. According to the internet, if they're well treated, camels can be very docile and terrific. But if you kind of get bossy with them, they'll
They do a bit of
spit
spitting.
at you and bite at you, as Dana has already said.
Yeah. I'm really having a hard time on the wheelchair.
Dana. Dana says, this burly guy said, I don't want to wear a mask because of my freedom and I don't like being told what to do. And I said, when you pick up sailors at the bus station, you wear a condom, don't you? Dana, you might get punched with that type of banter.
It is funny though how people are with the masks, because they really just are sort of like, no, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. Well, we do have there is the guy in the White House who goes around without wearing a mask.
Yeah.
He who shall not be named, because I'm just over naming him.
Yes, and let's get back to camels. Let's get off of the.
Oh
president.
yes, let's get back to sweet spitty camels.
So they brought the camels in 1855, and for basically, 6 years, the camels were just there, kind of ready, but the soldiers didn't like them. It was a real problem. Biting, spitting, they make some terrible noises. So they weren't using them. And then Confederate troops, right before the Civil War ended, I guess, in 1861, or maybe just after this is what they said, Civil War troops overthrew, Confederate troops overthrew Camp Verde, and they set the camels loose to cause chaos and,
some mayhem.
And mayhem, right? So they turned the camels loose, and it was chaos. Camels are a real problem. They never, first of all, they didn't like them to begin with. So then now they're loose. We got to go out in the desert and get the camels. No, we don't really.
No, just leave the camels to do what camels do. So the camels bred, and how many babies did they have?
They were out in the desert. Well, nobody knows for sure, but they'd been out there for a while, and at that time, Texas was even less populated, more sparsely populated than it is now, and so then decades later, there was a story about in Eagle Creek, Arizona, the legend of Red Ghost, and evidently it's one of these camels that escaped from Camp Verde, or so they think. I mean, they don't know for sure where he came from, but that's the most could
be an alien camel who came down on a spaceship.
Yes, it could be a time traveling camel. Too.
Yeah,
we can't rule out a time traveling camel.
Yeah, come on, man.
And so, but they don't think it's a camel. They hear these crazy noises in the dark, and they think it's a ghost, and they see this giant animal lumbering around, so they call it the Red Ghost. And it's, it appears here and there on farms and ranches. They can't catch it, and it's around in the dark, and it makes these kind of waily camel noises. That's just my guess at what a camel sounds like.
That's like Olive if she got bigger.
If you had a few minutes, but yeah, imagine a giant camel's making that noise. And so finally, 9 years later, some rancher kills the camel. He shoots it. He's got his gun out.
Aww.
And he shoots it.
I don't like how that story ended. I think the camel should just I suppose if it was terrorizing them, but
so after they
yeah.
After they kill the camel, after this guy kills the camel, he comes over and he's surprised to find strapped to its back is a skeleton of a guy. There was a guy on the back of the camel. One of the stories before this guy shot the camel, they were shooting at the camel and they missed it. But after the camel ran away, they found a skull on the ground. So they loosened the guy's skull. But yeah, there's this some guy died on the top of this camel or got strapped on and
that story, that was an unexpected turn that story took, Majere. Wow, yuck.
Yeah.
Imagine having to run around with a dead geezer on the top of you who's got minus his head, and then he starts rotting and turns into a skeleton and ugh.
Yeah, that camel had a rough go. The Red Ghost. No wonder he was making those noises. That's
he was like, get this guy off me. How?
Dana says camel fact, they don't spit, they regurgitate partially digested food.
Oh, and let you have it with that. Spit balls.
Yeah. Here's
yeah.
Right at you.
Take that, you overloading horrible human. Oh, I love the thing about they're on their knees, and then, because that's the thing we do with horses, God, and oxen and all the, beasts of burden. We just don't know when to stop.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I like people mostly. I like you guys, but some of those other people and some of the things they get up to, I'm just not a fan.
Well,
I have to say.
But let's just say how much we all enjoyed. You enjoyed hearing this new camel. A lot of people are really responding positively. And I mean, Jen, I feel like this is a great horror movie. The Red Ghost camel with the skeleton on the back. Who was that guy? And how did he wind up a skeleton? Now, we still have plenty of time left in the show. David R. Darrow says skeletons do not stay together without sinew. Well, the skeleton might have been kept together by the clothing that it was encased in, or maybe, I don't know. How am I?
They found a waistcoat the other day that was 133 years old, and it was still intact. And if it was made 133 years ago, I mean, that was before they had flame retardants, and it didn't have plastic in it, and it had all stayed together. So yeah, if you've got a nice pair of canvas, riding jodhpurs, camel jodhpurs on, I don't know what you wear, if you wear joddies or something else when you're riding a camel, but anyway.
And Jeff's asking a question. He saw me at the
Oh yes, and he wants to know why
DC
you're not at the
Improv.
Improv anymore.
And then,
do you want to tell them that lovely story?
Little venue off Connecticut. But they just decided they didn't want to. They wanted to give me a pay cut, and I said I didn't want to take a pay cut, and they said, "All right, well then we'll hire someone else for cheaper." And I said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
and then so I've been looking for other gigs. That gig where I saw you was not. Was for a one-nighter, it was all right, but it was combined with some other gigs in the area that were bigger. So my total, pirate booty for the week was better than at the Improv. But
the moral of that story is the Improv.
No, I still love the DC Improv.
We had some fun times there.
No.
That's where the girls from DC said to me, "You didn't really do that, did you?" And I'd say, "Yes, I'm from New Zealand. I really did do that."
I'd love to go back to the DC Improv. I do love it there. But yeah, that's the story of that. You can't. Everybody's got their business, and they got to do their business how they do their business. And I've had the business done to me a number of times, so I'm sort of used to it.
Yeah, do the business right back at them. So I'll tell you one thing about having this weird thing that goes on your face and sort of pummels you with heat and, balls that sort of, go around your eye socket and give you a workout, is you feel a bit nauseous afterwards. Well, I do. I did. Felt like I could have a little bit of a bath.
Jen says Magnetic is an amazing drone-filmed extreme sports doc, which doesn't sound exciting, but it is. I could go for an extreme sports doc. All right, Netflix recommendation.
Sorry, Tangent. Oh, we love tangents. Are you kidding,
Magnetic.
Jen? I'm the queen of the tangent. We watched The Great last night, the first episode of Catherine the Great, played by Elle Fanning, and what a fun romp that is. A little bit, quite a bit of sex and funny and quite...
Her husband, what's his name? Peter
the Emperor. Yes.
God, he's a real
yeah.
dick.
There's a lot of douche with him.
He's a douche.
He's just douche nonstop.
How do you feel?
Well, let's see. Did I feel nauseous because I've actually got the varinus? Have I got
98.6 on the button?
God, on the knob.
Here.
Let's see if you're on your knob.
Don't touch it to me.
I didn't, did I?
Yes.
Well, I can't see. Let me come in for a sideways so I can really...
Get hold of your ducts.
Yeah, let me get hold of your nose. This is unprecedented, guys. I touched his nose. Yes, it was the same.
97.7.
97.7. It's as usual. Right. It's as usual. I'm on my usual. We don't have the varinus, or if we do, we don't have a temperature with it. I'm doing great.
All right. Do we have time for a letter from my grandmother?
Oh, we certainly have a time for a letter from Granny.
All right, so I should go and get out of the big grandma bag.
Look at him.
I've been doing tidying up here in the office. The organization and the this guy. This is so. I did used to have a bag actually that I had my letters from my grandmother. And you've still got them in the envelopes. Oh, this is written to me and an ex.
Oh God, a girlfriend. That's a bit pukey.
Well, it's really to me.
Actually, guys, I'm completely fine with it.
There's always a letter from my aunt and my grandmother together in the same one, and so this is the one from Grandma. The aunt one is often read better second, but here.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right. I'm sorry I didn't stay up. My birthday's October 9th night and hear your skit and then wish me a happy 90th birthday. I was on the Letterman show and I wished my grandmother a 90th birthday. Charlotte and I were tired and we went to bed. Just that's the reason she wasn't able to stay up. They were
I totally get it, Granny. I totally get it. You're 90. Who could stay up to midnight?
My birthday, there were people here all day, and I received many pretty cards. At Ladies' Aid, the second Wednesday of the month, the Wallison twins made a white sheet cake, and the frosting said, "Happy 90th birthday, Dorothy." How about that? And I gave everyone a piece and sent 2 pieces home for Charlotte and I. So
Oh,
we
God.
celebrated it. I think there were a few guests that day at Aid. Pauline was here in September, the second Wednesday, and we went with us to Ladies' Aid. Charlotte and I are going to Eastern Star tonight, and pro tem for a lady who is taking classes in Marshalltown. Marjorie, my other aunt, but not related to this grandmother, brought a bouquet and a dozen roses. She owned a flower shop, and with pretty ribbons, and said 90th birthday, and said orchids to wear from the grandchildren from Pauline. So I guess my father's sister, my aunt, who owned a flower shop, sent flowers to my grandmother. Anyway, sorry to over-explain. It's turned cold.
No, it's really great. It's really, I mean,
yeah, in case
it
you
would
don't
be-
understand, in
yeah,
case it's not
it'd be
mundane
so
enough.
hard to be like.
And also, I've got to use the flashlight to be able. It's a little darker in here than I wish it
would
was.
be having a really hard time with a letter unless you were.
It's turned cold and feels like snow. Marjorie also gave me a box of Russell Stover chocolate candy. Charlotte gave me a pretty card and took me to dinner. Hope you're busy and happy. Lots of love, Grandma. Pretty nice.
Yeah,
pretty
pretty
nice.
great.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we can read Charlotte's card that was in the
What
same
is a
envelope.
real bummer is that if I had a letter, because my grandmother was still writing letters when she was 90. Now that she's 101, she is not writing letters because her eyesight isn't so good. She didn't have her Mabeben glands, Mabonums massaged with a weird, thing. Looks like a bit of a virtual reality machine that you put on your head, but you don't see. We once went to an exhibition, and
Yes.
it was Bjork's album after, she had the horrible breakup with Matthew Barney, and she was really hating that guy's guts. So it was like her Alanis Morissette, Marianne Faithfull, Revenge, but it wasn't just one song, it was a whole album. But she did it a virtual reality of all the songs, and so you put these a virtual reality thing and you sat on a stool, and some of it was cool because you had a little wand and you could do things and you could sort of walk down a river with Bjork. But the craziest one, Bjork, because you're supposed to say her name, was you were inside her mouth. It was a virtual reality, and so it was her
While she was
tongue and
singing
her
now.
teeth while she was singing, and it was her uvula, and it was. And that one made me feel like I could barf. It was way too intimate and claustrophobic being in Bjork's mouth.
Here's a little quote from Jen. I know
Yeah.
everyone else is reading these, but I still have to read them out loud. Jen says her grandmother decided before she was born, women in her family die young. We like to ride the fucking lightning. Excuse me, I'm quoting Jen. That's not me cursing.
Yeah.
But she's capitalized even the in that
Yes, she
phrase,
has.
which
Yeah.
I always thought you don't really have to
Yeah.
capitalize the indicators, but maybe it's a title of. She's definitive about it.
Right.
Anyway.
Yes. Well, you go, Jen. Don't hold back. And riding the lightning.
Oh,
Sounds like an adventure. Sounds kind of fun.
all right. So.
Yep. What's happening now?
Well, we've run.
What are you going to do?
We've run the.
What are you going
coast
to do?
of the
What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Well, we can have a seize the day.
Cameleers.
Let me ask you a question quickly on Humpday.
Okay, yeah. Ask me a question and see if I can answer it. I probably can.
Oh, I don't want to ask you that one.
Oh,
I didn't
is it a
like it. We'll get
personal
to it
one?
later.
You don't want the answer
What's the
said out
most-
loud in front of everybody?
What's the most beautiful drive you've taken?
Oh, the most beautiful drive.
We've been up the PCH from here to San Francisco.
Yeah,
Very
that's a
beautiful.
really spectacular
We've
drive.
also been up the PCH from the Bay Area up to the
Yeah,
Oregon
from when you
coast.
go out from where Guerneville
That's
is,
pretty
up
beautiful.
the Russian River, out to the coast and up there. Yeah, that sort of reminded me of New Zealand. I love the west coast of New Zealand. That's a really pretty drive. But I do have to say,
Well, wait,
that
the west
drive
coast
through the
of-
forest
The
up
west
on the
coast
west
of New Zealand, pretty great.
Yeah, and then that one that you do when you go to, is it you go to Kaitaia, when you're in Northland, so you're above Auckland, and then you're driving up to Hokianga, and you drive through this really beautiful native bush, and then you come to, what's the kauri tree that you go and see? It's called The King of the Kauris, Matua.
Oh,
Can you look up the name? Because I feel
I
bad.
can't. Because
Okay, well, we'll tell you
all my
tomorrow.
devices are in use to make
Okay,
the show.
well, yeah. So you drive
The
through
King of the
Kauri.
Kauris.
The King
That's
of the
pretty
Kauris.
beautiful.
And 17 men or 25 men can link arms and stand around the base of this tree. It's so enormous. But driving through that Kauri forest, I'd have to say, is one of the most beautiful
Yeah.
drives.
Yeah. I like.
Iceland was really unbelievable.
I was
We
gonna
did this
say.
thing. We were driving up. So we went and we slept in a crater there was a campground in a crater. We were down in Vic, which is a town on the map, but when you get there, it's 300 people, and just off the main road, which is a 2-lane road, one in each direction, is a football field, which also doubles as the campground. And Jake said, we all said that looks a bit stink. We're in beautiful Iceland, and Jake went. Did we tell him the story already? How we slept in the extinct volcano crater?
We may have.
Anyway,
Just keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling. So we drove up, and as we drove up, the sun was low. It doesn't set in the summer there, so it's 24 hours sunlight. So there's still some light, but it's quite weird because you're driving through all this larval kind of black sand, and it looks way scarier than it is. And we're in our weird the camper we told you about. It's like a padded cell for 3, and we're driving up there, and it's pretty unbelievably beautiful. And then when you get there, the crater is absolutely spectacular because enough ash fell on it that the bottom of the crater is completely flat, and then it's got these fantastic craggy
That go up about 30, 40, maybe even 50 feet. The sides. You're down
they're all
inside the crater and it's all grass in there.
yeah, and they've got all moss and green
Oh,
on them, so they're beautiful.
so
And
beautiful.
then every camping ground has a communal place to eat. Well, this one was a cave inside the side of the the crater that was still there, and it had these wooden tables and sort of water dripping from the ceiling, and then there were little candle the candles were hanging around on the walls. It was very beautiful, and it was a fantastic place to sleep. But on the way out the next day, I mean, the scenery was beautiful going in. On the way out, it was sort of like, one incredible vista after another, and then we stop. I've got a feeling like I have told you guys this story before, so bear with me if I have. But anyway, we stop, and then we're looking back because people go to Iceland just to do, Game of Thrones tours because they shot so much of the stuff there. This is where Jon Snow went down on his girlfriend. This is the cave. You can go in it. But when we were looking back on this vista, it actually had a plaque saying this was in the blah blah episode of Game of Thrones, and
To look down from that point onto the river as it was coming in and splitting in the glacier, and it was unbelievable.
It's just so
Highly recommend
Iceland.
to rent even a small van and drive around Iceland camping.
Oh,
It
the
was
smaller
so
the
good.
van, the better. It's the more intimate.
In fact, if you just got a bicycle and a tiny hat, that's good enough.
Well, no, you have a hat big enough so that it feels like you're in a.
That's a tent. But yeah, that was a really great trip. That was a great trip. But the west coast of New Zealand, there's so many beautiful drives in New Zealand.
Yeah, there are beautiful drives in New Zealand, but I
Anyway,
have to say, yeah.
Maybe
Iceland-
tomorrow. Let's do.
Oh, shut up now. Is it time for
Well,
you? Yeah.
we're wrapping up the show.
Oh yes. Okay. All right.
I love you.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think our marriage
shut
is at
up
right
and I love you. Or I love you and shut up. Oh, I'd say it's easily, in the 9s.
Me too.
Oh, look at that.
Even I'm barely seeing you today because we
Same
got up
reason.
and had quick breakfast, and you've been off working into the grocery store.
I know. I did this really fantastic Zoom meeting about racism.
Today's quote is from Stephen Covey
Who's he?
from Seize the Day. Thanks to Rachel.
Yes, thanks, Rachel.
Stephen Covey is the author, I'm fairly certain, of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is a book that I really recommend.
You have that book?
Well, I have a workbook about it, but I'd heard about that book since forever, and I thought it was some kind of, not to overuse the word douchey today, but I thought it was sort of a douchey business helper book. But 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, there's a couple of really great ones in there. My favorite thing was about you need to seek to understand before you try and be understood. Listen before you talk, because people don't care what you think until they think that you care. And it's a great book. I would listen to that again. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You can get it from the library. It's a great audiobook.
Okay, I'm just going to say before you do that, because there's been a bit about native bush. We don't call it native bush anymore because people are a bit silly about we call it rainforest because that's what people like.
Oh yes. Well,
But
native forest is what you'd call it, or native woods we'd call it where I came from. But yeah, they call it a bush, and then the
yeah,
bush pun. Even though there's no, all ladies are now, they don't have bushes anymore.
well, that's
Nobody's got a bush.
oh, that's nonsense.
Everybody's
The big
landscaping
70s
their.
bush is back, apparently.
Well, I
Yeah.
sure.
So Ramon, you're a little bit out of touch. I hate to tell you, darling, because apparently, yep, no, it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
70s.
I sure hope so. I sure hope the '70s push is back.
Yeah, because
Stephen
that's
Covey.
non-sexist.
We've gone a little bit off road
Yeah,
now.
oopsie, we're back to
and,
7 fabulous habits for your native bush.
He says, "I'm not a product of my circumstances. I'm a product of my decisions."
Oh God,
Yes.
that's yes, yeah. Wow.
So it's not what happens to you. It's what you do about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I know.
Do you get it? Are you trying to poo-poo that advice?
Well, it's just a little. I mean, I get it. It's. He's right.
Okay,
It
well,
just
good.
seems a
I'm
little.
happy to hear you
It
say
seems a little pleased with himself, but But he's right. I don't know. It's
Belinda's a little jealous when someone else nails it.
No, it's not that. It's. I mean, I almost feel like saying "oh, douche" to him, but maybe it's because he's written a book called "The 7 Habits of the 7 Highly Successful People." I mean, he's probably it's all right. He's probably right on everything he says.
I'm going to explain to you. I got a feeling our marriage is going to get down into the 8s in a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to get a talking to
get
after the show. I can feel it coming. I'm going to get
I'm going to get
a bit of a talking to.
Everybody's.
But it's all right, guys. Don't worry. I can completely handle it. I can handle him. It just seemed a little like
Jen's going to take her Imodium and
stop pooing.
tighten up her poos for tomorrow.
Yeah, good.
We'll see you all tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Thursday. We're halfway through
this. It's going to be great.
The middle of this week. It's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly. And keep it native. Please, Cameleers.
Yeah.
Come on, Cameleers. Do yourselves a favor.
I've lost control of the show. We'll see you tomorrow. Please.
There's a bit of Velcro on the back of the thing, and when you go
Please
back,
don't
I
give
keep
up.
on sticking
No,
to
that's
it.
from the weighted weight vest, which we can get into tomorrow. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Best I can. I'm trying to organize myself. I'm trying to look up things on the internet. I'm trying to run the production of the show. I'm trying to get Belinda on board. She said, I said, hey, the show's starting in 5 minutes. And she said, yeah, it might be a little bit late, but I'll be there. So that's who I'm dealing with. You just can't know all the time who's going to be where you need them to be when you need them to be there, except for the people who are here ready right now as I'm trying to get the silly thing to be able to see what you're commenting. But I've done a bit of research. Let's check my temperature quick while I'm getting ready to be able to do this. Alrighty, 97.7. That's pretty normal for me. Okay, I'm seeing on the iPad that there's 16 people here. Yeah, Jen's here. Rachel's here. Oh, let me get the magic mirror out. Yes, Bill, Joan, Flavia, Sunshine Thursday, Keith, hello from Florida. Dana, Scott, yes, I got the ray gun pictures, Scott. Thank you so much. Rich, good to see you. How about a pet beer? Absolutely. Hello, Scott. Hello, Julie. Hello, Andrea. I'm trying to get what's the angle that I can get where it looks like I'm looking at the thing? Hello, Laura, Ramon, Charlie, Amy. Hi, everybody. And welcome to the show. Thursday, as I said, Belinda may be a little bit late. And I did some research about pet bears. I just was thinking about bears today. Our dog is our dog. It's not our dog, but Olive, the dog that was our dog for a few days, has now returned to its dog homestead. So now we're just back down to the bunny, which is good. I'm happy to be down to the bunny. But there's a lot of pressure around here to get a dog, and I'm allergic to dogs. I don't want a dog. I don't want to have to. I'm a bit of a fuddy-duddy about dogs. And believe it or not, some people do have pet bears. But I guess I don't want to talk about that until Belinda gets here. So I could talk about Florida. Yeah, I read through the comments from the last couple days. that's how I found out that the Republican convention is in Florida. I know that there's other ways to find out where the Republican National Convention is, and I did Google it after I read in the comments that it's going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. So now I know that. Florida is kind of up for anything. I don't know if that's your state motto in Florida. We're up for anything. No, what do you want to do? That's kind of what it feels like in Florida. It's a pretty fun place to visit, but I think it would be an insane place to live. There's no non-allergic dogs. Oh no, there are non-allergic dogs. Yeah, I do know that, Jen. I do know there's non-allergic dogs, but I feel like it's not just the fur or the dander. I don't know. There's something about it that they make me itchy and fiddly with my nose and scratchy. Sometimes I feel like they affect my sleep. My sister, hello, Sue. Will everyone have to stay at Trump-owned hotel in Florida for the convention? I don't know. We're number one in new Varinus cases. Yeah, well, that's USA. Yeah, well, we've got some new Varinus cases, and I am going to persist in calling it Varinus, and I know that now it's starting to be a problem for those of us watching this show and let's just say participating, because I'm also watching this show. Yeah, it's a problem when you say Varinus and people don't know what you're talking about, but you straighten them out one time and you tell them you're trolling the coronavirus by calling it the Varinus, and either they get on board, or at the very least they just know it. They get tired of making you explain it after a while, and you just say Varinus. Just keep going with it. That's my advice anyway. So yeah, we're number one in the Varinus. Don't get an ankle biter dog; it'll drive you nuts. Yeah, I think dogs drive me a little bit nuts. You know, when Belinda and I first got married, she had a dog, and when she comes in, we got to stop talking about this. She had a dog, Frankie, and it was a sweet, sweet dog. Frankie was a sweet dog. And I did like Frankie, but Frankie really kind of affected my respiration. If I'd be out of town for a weekend doing shows, I'd come home and I'd be tired from the road. But then the first couple of days, I'd have trouble sleeping and breathing because of the dog. And the dog, their maintenance. You got to take them for walks. You got to feed them. You got to clean up after them. You got to clean them up. And a lot of times I was finding that all at once I had jobs doing that. And I didn't want jobs doing that. I didn't want to do that. Anyway, here comes Belinda. So let's pretend like we weren't talking about this. All right. In Florida, where a drink, if Florida were a drink, it would be cheap vodka and Red Bull. Well, vodka and Red Bull is a drink that can get you in trouble two different ways. You know, it can wake you up and
keep you drinking.
Get you drunk.
When you should not be drinking. When you should have stopped drinking if you've had a Red Bull and...
welcome aboard.
Hello. I hear that you can get into... Oh, my God. How have I been? I've just finished...
How have you been?
I've just finished... I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted?
Yeah.
It's just kind of midday.
Oh, come on. This is 3 o'clock. No, I finished this edit of this first... the first version, and then I'm going to do one other... I've got the wrong glasses on for being in here. And then I'm going to do another version.
When are you going to be posting the video? When will our fans be
Oh,
able
I
to
know,
see it?
and my new subscribers. Thanks, guys. I've had a boost in subscribership. I love you for it. Thank you very much. Yes. Well, I've got to show it to Mark, first of all, and then I've got to show it to his publicist people, and they have to sign off on it, and then it's for pitching purposes, but I would like to have it up on my website, as soon as I can, and maybe chop it into bits and do it on Instagram. I mean, I haven't, done any posting or anything. Oh, take my temperature. I'm feeling a little queasy.
Yeah. Let's take it. Well, you're wearing a cowl neck sweater.
I know. The sun is shining outside. I need a woolly hat on.
Here,
Where is my woolly? Have you got a woolly hat?
Can you turn towards me and hold still?
Yes, I will.
97.7. That's my temperature.
Oh, I've cooled down a bit.
I've got. So, would you like to wear the All Blacks hat?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me put the All Blacks hat on. I'll represent for New Zealand.
That's the
I
New
might
Zealand
get a bit hot.
rugby team. Yeah, let me know.
How does it look? Is this good?
Looks good. You've got it down a bit low.
That's off. Yeah.
That's better.
Not that I feel low. I feel good, but it's God. I've just been editing is really a lot. I'm a self-taught editor with the help of my husband. Oh, look at that! Yeah,
How
All
many
Blacks.
states would you guess that it's legal to have a pet bear or tiger or monkey? There's an amount of states where all of those things, no permit necessary.
Okay, it's somewhere between 25 and 37.
Where it's legal, no permit.
Yeah.
No, with the permit. With the permit, maybe that's the right number. But with no permit, you just get your pet bear. You don't have to tell anybody about it.
Have I gone too high for America?
Yes,
Even
yes.
for America,
Even
is it
for
under
America.
10?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, I don't know,
6.
I was going to say 5. I was so close. You didn't even let me get a chance to say my number.
Do you want to see if you could name some of the states where you can have a pet bear without a permit?
Alaska,
Nope.
California. No.
Well, it's this is the ones that were all 3: bear, tiger, and primate. That's a fun
Florida.
house.
Florida.
You would think Florida.
Really?
But no, I think you probably have to have a permit in Florida. No, you can't have Florida, I think you need a permit. Nevada, Oklahoma.
Dakota. North Dakota.
North and South Dakota, you need a permit. Nevada, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Alabama, and North and South Carolina, no permit.
Wow. Well, if you want a monkey, or if your kids want a monkey, I know that you can go to Singapore and get a monkey for $5. Well, that was back
in the 80s, probably, or
70s.
maybe even the 70s.
Yeah, when I was there, when you could get
Price
a
of
monkey
monkeys.
for $5. Yeah, it's
I don't
gone
know.
up.
I don't
It's
know
gone
if
up.
you've checked the price of monkeys lately.
Yeah. Not that we've gone over this on the show, and as Dana has told us, they throw their poos at you. They're horrible. You can have a pet bear in Michigan and probably Florida because Florida. Well, Uma, that's what I thought too. I answered with Florida. It's one of the first ones I went with after Alaska. I can't even believe it. Alabama people probably have bear relatives. Wouldn't that be funny? You go to get your DNA tested and you're really hoping that you've got something exotic in there, and then it turns out that, no, you don't have any Neanderthal, but you've got some bear. What about if I do like that?
Bear would be exotic.
Do I look like a gnome wife like this? Is this a good look?
Well, I'm going to have to Google gnome wife after this, but...
Going for...
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I've gone for the all black mohawk look. I'm a little punchy, people. I've also been feeling, I know I told you this yesterday, and Jake's got more special things to tell you out of the book, and as per usual, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants.
Couldn't be bothered to be here for the beginning of the show.
No, it wasn't that. I was just millimeters. I was nanoseconds away from, and I finished.
Well, but if you set it down and you come back to it, it's not like you get further away from being finished. You're still the exact progress.
I know, but I've got a thing I've got to do it for, man. Come on. I'm a busy lady, but I wanted to tell you something, and now it's gone out of my head. I have been feeling slightly nauseated since nauseous, as we say. I know in America you say nauseous, but I don't see a TIOUS in there. I see
an SHUS.
Yeah.
Just nauseous.
I see an EOUS.
Nauseous. NAWSHUS. Nauseous.
Yeah, like a nautical. Yeah, exactly.
Or KNAWSHUS, and that's nauseous in the sense that I would love to gnaw that.
Yeah, to have a gnaw on it. But anyway,
that looks nauseous.
Yeah,
Can I have a
Moorish.
gnaw?
It looks
May I have a
Moorish.
gnaw?
I'd like some more of it because it's totally Moorish. That's a word I've never seen it in the dictionary, I don't think, in the old dick, but I definitely, Moorish is a word that we've always used in my family. If we like some food, it's Moorish. But anyway, what I was going to say, I have felt slightly nauseous since I had my eye pummeling gland treatment yesterday.
Really? Your gland chemo?
Treatment, darling. While we're on this, he's more into you than he's into me while we're doing this.
No,
he loves you guys. He's on the
I love
comments.
you the most of all, but
It's okay, it's okay.
I'm with you all effing day.
Oh, you are not. I'm up in that front house editing all day. No one ever sees me.
Anyway, it's nice to be here with my other friends. Keys was just saying he prefers pets that don't rip his face off. And then,
Keys.
Then, Uma, you probably shouldn't have married me then. But boom. Keys and Uma working a comedy show.
Yeah, they are working a comedy show.
Yeah, they don't need help with their jokes.
Okay, Rhonda, I'm not understanding why the turtleneck is Diane Keaton coming over. Does Diane Keaton like turtlenecks?
Diane, well, it's a bit of a...
She wears ties and button-up shirts and jackets and waistcoats and bowler hats and things. Well, there
I
was a
won't
bit
hear
of a.
anything. I won't hear anything bad about Diane Keaton on this show.
Oh, she's lovely, and I admit it. No, it was we had quite a marine layer this morning. It has burned off now, but I'm just pretending it's still the marine layer.
No, Ramon's excited about her marine layer.
Yeah,
Because he's a Marine. Get it?
yeah. Well, this is
Once
my
a Marine,
marine
always a
layer
Marine.
for
Yeah.
when the marine layer's here.
So,
This is my friend Hillary Hollis. Told you, bit punchy. Yeah. Jake wants to read out of his special book, and I just want to tell you
no es
some
necesito.
weird, some non sequiturs.
no es necesito. You know why?
So this sweater.
Because the fun meter's at the max right now.
Jake's going to get to his book in a second, but I do have to tell you about this sweater.
How about the marriage first?
Oh, fucking great.
Are you hammered right now?
Yeah, I had a Red Bull and vodka before I came in. I don't drink either of those things. Red Bull, blah, that stuff is poison, and vodka, no thanks. So this sweater belonged to my friend Hillary Bean, and when she left to go live in New Orleans, which, first of all, I told her I thought it was a good idea for her to go, and then when it came time for her to go, I was like, oh, why did I ever tell her? I do not want Hillary Bean to go live in New Orleans. She's one of my best mates. Come on, man, I can't live without Hillary Bean. So when she left, this was one of her sweaters. She gave me a few of her things she didn't want to take, and she didn't have room to take. She took a lot of stuff, but anyway, this sweater, she gave it to me, and it smelled of her perfume, and I was like a little puppy dog. I used to wear it, and I was like, oh, I'm never going to wash this sweater because it's like having Hillary Bean with me.
Oh.
So it just smells vaguely of her now. I still haven't washed it. I'm not going to tell you how long she's been in New Orleans.
I just... it's been...
And don't tell them.
All right.
Don't tell them.
It's been longer than you think.
But I want it to smell
Well,
of
it's
Hillary,
not like
so
you
I'm
wear it.
washing
It's not like you wear it every day. I want to say hi to...
hello.
I want
I'm
to say hi
stopping.
to my friend Dana Resniti from Pittsburgh. You met Dana one time, but it'd be a long time ago. Speaking of
Where
dogs,
were we?
she was living up by Malibu, and she has had or is having. They were little Scotty dogs, or Yorkies or Scotties, something like that. That's what I remember, but I could be wrong about that in terms of I can't keep track of
And
everyone's.
we were in Malibu.
I can't keep track of everyone's pets. Am I in charge of keeping track of everyone's pets? Is it me?
Don't
God.
even tempt them because they'll want you to be in charge of their pets now.
Oh, yes. Well, just please phone me
we'll
up.
Just deputize them to be in charge of your pets.
Send me an email with your pet's name and the breed, and then I'll log it in my pet log, and then
and
you
its
can check
medication?
back. You can check back with me. And no, it's not its medication. I can just keep track of the pet and its name. That's
Okay.
it. Who would win?
Jake
Who would
sometimes
win?
says I'm an exotic pet, and I'm quite high. I don't think I'm that high maintenance. I get out. I do the
Not that-
gardening.
no.
You don't have to do any stuff in the garden. I do it.
You're a bit self-starting on some things. Now, who do you think would win in a fight, a monkey or an otter?
Well, I think maybe I don't know. I mean, a monkey. It depends how good a swimmer the monkey is, but I've sort of got my money on the otter, but maybe I just can't get past the sex story and the biting the lady's face to hold her inside to the point that sometimes you actually kill her.
You're betting on the otter to win that
I've just
fight.
got to say that really ruined otters for me. I thought they were just these happy chappies, with a little kenna, that's the sea urchin on their chests, gobbling it up, lying on their backs in the ocean. Building dams.
I like the otter too, because I think the otter is going to know it's a fight first. The otter is going to start the fight and know it's a fight, and the monkey's going to be at a tremendous disadvantage. And then, even though monkey could probably murder an otter, are you reading the Alabama joke?
I'm reading the one about Keys thinks I need to put my seatbelt on because the backseat driver, I think he thinks she's out of control or something.
Well, when you're leaning back, it's a bit tricky. So Michael had a good joke. What do divorce and a tornado have in common in Alabama?
What?
What do a divorce and a trailer have in common in Alabama?
A divorce and a trailer have in common in Alabama.
Oh, no, sorry. What do a divorce and a tornado have in common in Alabama? Either way, somebody's losing a trailer. And let me just say, Michael,
right.
that was an example of how an amateur would mess up a joke, and I can't believe that was I'm just an amateur reader. I'm pretty good at jokes, but I'm not a very good reader.
Rhonda, you're asking why I'm sniffing my sweater. Didn't you hear the whole thing about this was Hillary Bean's sweater and I smell it like a puppy dog?
People don't always
It's got
follow
a
along.
perfume on. You've got to pay attention. Come on. Well, I can tell Rhonda that because we're friends.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
likes me. I like her. Scotty Dogs, good memory. Met Belinda and the Greener, politically incorrect, and dinner after. Oh, Dana! God, that was a really long time ago.
That would be a long time
and
ago.
John Lydon was on that politically incorrect. Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols, which I was really pretty
And
excited
Johnny
about.
Rotten used to live right over here.
Right. Well, I wish he still
Right.
did because I'd like to go over
Well,
and
he
say
may.
I've got
He
some.
may, for
you know,
all I know.
Yeah.
may.
He's the second Sex Pistols who I've Sex Pistol. In plural, pistols. In singular, pistol. Second Sex Pistol that I know.
Don't tell Belinda about the rapey dolphins. Yeah.
Oh God, no! Because I love dolphins.
Yeah, well, you
I'd
don't
like
want to
to
hear
come
about
back
that.
as a dolphin. Well, you
What?
know, animals
Come back where?
to the planet.
Where's Belinda? She's going to the grocery store, and then she came back as a dolphin.
Yeah, imagine if you could do that. If you went out the gate, and then you could just, you could channel another animal, and you could come back in as that animal. Man, I'd give you some frights.
Well, I'd come to recognize. I feel like
What if I was a dolphin instead of flopping my way through the door right now and insisting I get to be on the show?
you could come back as a dolphin, and then I'd go, "Oh, what the hell? There's a dolphin in the yard." And then I realized, "Oh no, that's Belinda." And I tell,
you'd have to-
and I tell our daughter, like, "Go get a bucket, get some water. We got to wet her down."
Yeah, you'd have to have a hose on me all night, but what would be
Oh,
fun?
I wouldn't put the hose on you. I'd just wrap you in a wet blanket. And
Oh,
I'd take you down
yuck!
to
A
the
wet
ocean.
blanket.
I'd take you down to
I
the
know, and
ocean.
play with me because can you imagine how much fun it would be? We would get in the waves. I would do all that surfing as a dolphin. I'd let you hold onto my fins, and I'd take you in Fanula, and I promise I wouldn't duck you under for too long.
Holy crap!
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Rich is reminding me of the show Manimal. Manimal, the TV show, was a guy who could turn into a man. But I don't think he turned into just any animal, right? He only had a couple of in his repertoire, but I could be wrong about that. So I did have this story about a Chinese couple.
Oh. Okay, so you were paying attention, Rhonda. Sorry.
I did have this story about. I watched Punching Henry. Funny movie about a comedian's life. Ooh, I don't know. Oh, Punching Henry. Is that Henry Phillips? I think it is Henry Phillips. He's funny and super talented. If it is Henry Phillips. If it's not Henry Phillips is also funny and talented. So I read about this Chinese couple who had thought they'd got a Tibetan Mastiff, and it turned out that when it kept growing and it finally got to 250 pounds.
It was a bear.
Yeah, and was walking around on it's 250 pounds and walking around on his back legs, and they're like, "That's a weird dog. It's a bear."
Oh my God! It took them
Yeah.
that long to work out that their bear was a dog. I mean, their dog was a bear. That is funny.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, okay, a whole series of books about a guy turning into animals. Very interesting. Actual sci-fi. Yes, Henry Phillips. Yeah, Henry Phillips is terrific, and you can get his comedy CDs, and he's elsewhere on the internet that you can find him. I highly recommend Henry as a comedian and as a person. I really enjoy his company whenever I see him. So we've talked about the Republican convention is in Florida.
Oh, we have talked about that.
Yes.
Before I got here, you
yes,
talked about
prior
it.
to when you got
Yeah,
here.
I would have liked to have talked about that, and they're not having it. When are they having the rally? Is it on Saturday?
I think Juneteenth is tomorrow,
Yeah.
and
Let's go to a good protest, everybody.
yeah.
I'm gonna.
Okay. So they asked serial killers this question. Let me see if you know the answer.
Oh yeah. Well, of course. Why wouldn't I?
A man goes to a wedding and sees a woman, and then goes home and murders his sister. Why? Serial killers all got this in one. A man goes to a wedding, sees a woman that's interesting to him, goes home and murders his sister. Why?
Now, his sister's not the same woman who's at the wedding.
Nope.
Goes home and marries his sister. Twins.
Nope.
Looks like somebody he'd like to marry. Looks too much like his sister. He's got a pattern, and the woman who he sees at the wedding reminds him of what the pattern is.
Nope. The answer, and serial killers get this
Oh, they got like trophies?
They all answer this question the same. A man.
I'm not much of an aficionado on.
Well, you're not a serial killer, so that's why you're not getting it. This is a good sign.
Okay.
It's good that you don't know the answer.
Yeah,
if you did know the answer.
I'm feeling bad because I like to get the right answers. I'm over here going, oh, fuck, come on, Belinda. Like, think, what is it? But I'm also really bad at riddles.
No, it's...
Okay.
So, man goes to a funeral, sees a woman...
Wedding.
Funeral.
Oh.
Man goes to his father's funeral, sees a woman that he likes, goes home and murders his sister. Why? To create another funeral so that he'll have a chance to see her again. That's the answer. Serial killers all give that same answer, according to this friend of mine who knows about serial killers. I don't know if it's true, but...
but how would you... But the thing is, the woman...
It doesn't make sense. Serial killers are not... They're crazy.
Oh, I thought they were pretty... Yeah, well, I get that they're crazy, but I also thought that, they were sort of clever and methodical and worked stuff out.
Well, they are methodical in the sense that
just because it's a wedding doesn't mean you're always going to be the lady's always going to be a wedding guest at the wedding.
No, but if that person knows your father who's died, they probably also know your sister.
Oh.
Anyway, who knows?
Yeah, I never would have got that in a month.
Jen's like, I was totally thinking that. Jen, you're a bit of a caution. You are a bit of a caution.
Yeah, Jen, you're an interesting lady.
I think that was a joke.
No, I'm just... Me or Jen? Jen.
Jen was joking.
Yeah, I wasn't joking.
You were serious
Jen is
about
interesting.
Jen being an
I
interesting
find
lady.
Jen interesting. Yes, I'm not joking. I don't joke very much. That's not me. Oh, these glasses, I can't look. These are just my up close and special glasses.
Oh, maybe I didn't say funeral at the beginning. Oh.
Yeah, you said wedding.
Oh, God. Well, this is just how I'm a moron.
How you're... Yeah, you definitely said wedding.
Did I?
Yeah, you said wedding.
Well, that's what made it confusing
what got
to
it
you.
hard for me.
So you are a serial killer.
I am. Jesus, if you'd said the funeral right away, I would have got... Oh,
you are
and he
a
goes
serial
home,
killer.
He kills somebody, so there's another
I should have
funeral.
written it down. This is
well,
sad.
no, you should have been able to remember. Weddings and funerals are quite different.
Well, let me just say it correctly.
Should I spell it out for you? What the difference between a wedding and a funeral
Man
is?
goes to his father's funeral, sees a woman he's attracted to, goes home, murders his sister. Why? To cause another funeral so that he can see the girl again. That's why. All right.
Thank you, Jen. She finds me interesting as well. She likes it when I... did you give me the comment, Jen, ages ago about you like it when I do nerdy science facts or data?
Do you have a nerdy science fact for today?
A nerdy science fact? Yeah. Do you know that solar installation has increased 5,000% in the last decade? Installation of solar panels has increased by 5,000% in the past decade.
And that's a factor of... 100% is a factor of 2. So what's a 5,000%?
I don't know, because I'm not going to do math right now because I'm slightly nauseated.
Yeah. Nauseated or nauseous?
No, nauseous, we call it. Nauseous, because it's spelt nauseous.
Well,
you guys are right with scone because no, you're right with... Yeah, you're right with scone because it has an E on the end. So if we want to call it scone, but that would mean it was, S-C-O-N, like a scone. But we like to call it a scone, and you guys call it a scone, which is correct because it has an E on the end.
Well, it was confusing to me the first time you said you wanted to watch our favorite show, Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Everybody, how many times do you think I ever said that? Yes, he's a big fat liar.
Yes, it's 0.
Futile. It's futile, guys. It's not futile because it has an E on the end. So you have to say futile, mobile.
Yes.
These are just a few little things that's hard for me to give up. I'll never give them up.
So Jen says she loves nerdy science. She watched a bunch of your videos on YouTube.
Oh,
fascinating.
Oh, thank you so much, Jen. And I had a big hit in my subscribers. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Then, hello. Are you gonna ask me a question or tell me something? Just tell me something, please. Please, darling.
Just tell you something?
yeah.
God.
Oh, you can ask me a question. I'm just feeling like I'm not.
Fact.
Yeah.
Let me see if I've got a fact in here. I just don't even...
Every bunny needs some bunny.
You're on fire today. If you had to change your name, what name would you choose?
Which name? My first name,
my
last
your
name.
Whole name. You could change them both to one name. You could become like Cher, although Cher is taken.
No, I don't want to have one name. Oh God, if I could change my name, what's a name I hanker after? Oh, well, I like Belinda. When I was little, I wanted to be called Nancy. I thought Belinda really sucked, and I wanted my name to be Nancy. I thought that was way cooler.
All right, Nancy.
And then, no, I don't want to be called Nancy anymore. If you could call me...
You don't want to be called Nancy,
No,
Nancy?
that was when I was a kid. Now I'm a lady, an adult. Oh, my friends. I had this lovely friend. I still have this lovely friend.
Oh, my
Rob.
friends. Oh, my friends.
Yeah. Oh, my friends of yesteryear.
Yes.
Oh God, I've got to think about it. Well, we're watching The Great right now, and I quite like it the way Catherine and Peter call each other Empress and Emperor. If you just called me Empress, I don't want to be called Goddess. I think that's a bit of a wank. But Empress, I could go with
Empress, you'd like that? Oh, Empress.
Empress Josephine. Use my second name
Empress
and call
Josephine.
me Empress Josephine.
I think there is already an Empress, right?
Yes, well, there was. She was married to silly old Napoleon. He made her his empress because he wanted to be the emperor after they'd beheaded the king and the queen. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, Napoleon? You were not using your big brain right about then. I mean, it was really because you did badly in the wars that they got rid of you. But I do like
giving some post game coaching to Napoleon.
Oh my God,
Napoleon,
Yeah.
where did he blow it? Belinda or Nancy? Empress. Sorry.
Yeah, just call me Empress, and you don't have to call me the Josephine. I mean, I like my
Empress.
second name. I like.
Can you tell me again how Napoleon blew it?
Well, the thing is, I think he ran out of luck, and
He should have checked his luck tank.
Yeah, he should have exactly before he, got out of being in.
Listen,
where
troops.
was he? They sent him off to be on the island of Alba. What do you call that when they put
Exile.
you in exile? And he came back and he wanted to wage some more wars. It's like hang up your friggin' sword when you've had enough battles. Like let it go, Napoleon.
Once you've been exiled, and you come back, you need to take it down a notch.
Yeah. Just trying to get a really good look for the end of the show.
Rachel, here's a pro tip. Rachel's got a pro tip for you. She programmed Siri to call her Your Majesty.
Well, you do Your Majesty, Rachel, and then I'll get Empress. And I don't think you can say Your Empress. You just have to say Empress, Empress, Cooey, Empress. And if I deign to respond, I will.
All right, Empress.
Okay. Did I interrupt you too many times? Did you get to say everything you wanted?
It was
in
a
the
quality
book?
show today. We're just about out of time. What do you complain about more than anything else? This is what I want you to know that this is an actual question on here. What do you complain about more than anything else? But you do have a complaint from time to time.
Oh yeah. No, I'm a bit of a complainer.
What do you complain about more than anything else?
Well, I do hate doing everybody else's dishes.
That's not what you complain about more than anything else.
You tell me then.
Not getting enough sleep.
Oh, but I have been getting enough sleep.
Yes.
I mean, Varinus, I've been getting a lovely lot of sleep. I'm an 8 or 9 hour a day lady, please.
Hello, Varinus, my old friend.
Yeah, I've come to sleep with you again. I don't want to sleep with the Varinus. I like sleeping with you, but I definitely do. I've been getting enough sleep. I've been happy.
You have? Yeah. You've been getting enough sleep, so now you're on to complaining about the dishes. Just goes to show you. You solve one problem, there's another problem right there waiting for you.
Well, dishes are just always a pain in the bum. I mean, cleaning up the kitchen and dishes, it just never ends. There are people, they always want to eat. I'm one of them, and I completely cop to it. I don't pretend that, I'm in there, not eating. I'm some kind of fembot, and I don't eat. I eat. And I like good food, and there's, crap everywhere all the time in the kitchen.
Well...
Oh, would you do the vacuum cleaning today?
We'll see. I'll do the vacuum cleaning tomorrow. How about that? I'm not going to do it today.
This is a lovely husband.
I am a lovely husband, although I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for the vacuuming today. I'll do the vacuuming tomorrow because it's Friday. I'm going to start Friday off with a big suck. Boom! Jokes, just that simple. I'm not so good at serial killer facts, and I also ham-handed that trailer park joke from earlier, but I feel like I really nailed that suck joke on Friday. So tomorrow's Friday. We'll see everyone here for happy hour, Friday happy hour.
Yep.
I'd like to close out today's show with a quote from from Seize the Day. Thank you again to Rachel. Cheers. Today's quote is from W.C. Fields. Do you remember W.C. Fields?
I do. I just was having a little yawn and a quick nap in my sweater.
Today's sign off is from W.C. Fields.
Hit us.
Start every day off with a smile and get it over with. Have a great night.
My kind of joke.
Have a great night.
It's a bit of a snark, and it's a little bit funny.
Yeah.
And that was good. That was very good.
I love you.
Thank you,
I
Rachel.
love you.
I love you too. What do you say? I love you. What's my name?
I love you more. I love you, Nancy. I love you, Nancy.
Oh,
Empress, don't be ridiculous.
Yeah,
of
come
course
on.
I remember.
You call me Nancy, you're going to get a punch in the nose.
Don't give up tomorrow.